Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. I'm just down here in the archive room of our church reading through some history from the WMU. That's the Women's Missionary Union, if you're not familiar with the shorthand. Um, what else would I be doing on a Monday morning? uh, this is one of my favorite rooms in the church, by the way. It's the archive room. They're moving it to somewhere bigger and more spacious where they can reorganize things. Our good folks that keep up with our history. But I love this room because it smells like an old library. It'd be a great idea for a candle scent. Archive room. Cut me in or give me some candles. I love candles. 100 years ago, the president of the WMU, Mrs. L.E. Perry, wrote this. The handsome church at the corner of College and Spruce Streets, opposite the courthouse, was bursting at the seams. The impressive sanctuary with its beautiful stained glass windows would not seat the congregation, and there was a very small educational building attached in the back. Places of business were crowding in, and additional property for expansion was not available. It was time to plan a new building. There was a lovely inn named Margot Terrace, which had a convenient location at the corner of Oak and Woodfin. The church bought this property and had the hill leveled, and had a noted architect, one Douglas Ellington, draw plans for the present church with a lovely parsonage next door. So this tells how our church here with the dome came to be. The president of the WMU is recording the history. The church was very successful, but it wasn't here. It was right where Twisted Laurel is, across the street. And it was bursting at the seams. Beautiful sanctuary. And in 1920, those ambitious, tenacious, very gifted spiritual people decided we gotta move. We gotta keep growing. What God's doing needs more room here. So they look for new space, and they buy this land where an inn used to be, the Margot Terrace. Awesome. And that's how the plans get underway to build our new sanctuary and relocate the church here in 1927. So my history is not great, but this is right after World War I ends and a little bit before the Great Depression in our country. And in the midst of that turmoil and fatigue and anxiety, people of this church were still dreaming, still seeking for God to do something new and good. They weren't just comfortably resigned to enjoy what had already been built. They were going to keep building and growing. And that's what is on my mind today. Because in the wake of our country and our world right now and the pandemic, there's some fatigue. And not the kind of fatigue you get when you run a long race. I mean the fatigue you get when you sit in your house all day or in your yard. Ugh, exhausting. There's also fatigue of doing the good stuff, doing what is good and right. There's a fatigue that it doesn't matter or it doesn't really make a difference. And in the New Testament, Paul writes this when he's writing to the church in Galatia. In chapter 6, verse 9, he says, let's not get tired of doing what's good, for in due time we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. Now, I know those first Christians, people in Galatia and Paul, none of them could have imagined the good that would come out of their work. Not to the magnitude of how the church has expanded and how the message of Christ has grown over all these years. But I don't think the people 100 years ago in our church could have imagined where we'd be right now. But they kept seeking to do what is good and right, not just for themselves, but for their community. And they put this church in the middle of a neighborhood at the time. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. Even if you feel fatigued or it doesn't matter, it does. Keep seeking to do what is good and push through the exhaustion. And let's just continue to hope and pray that God will use us in the same kind of abundantly fruitful ways as God has used people that came long before us. Now, I'm going to get back to listen to some tunes. This new record just dropped. Charles Crocker, the music minister, and an organist named Dan Harden. I wonder if he knows Tate Addis. Hey, Tate, do you have any records? Challenge. Anyway, getting back to this. Until then, next time, peace of Christ be with you.